This segment is brought to you by JigMasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to JigMasters.com and use promo code PNF20 and save 20% off your next jig order today. Hello, and welcome back to the Paddle and Fin podcast. This is Adventures with Outdoor Woman, and here's your host, Mrs. Susie Roloff. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Adventures with Outdoor Woman podcast, and I'm your host Susie Roloff, and today I have another epic guest lady on the show. I got Miss Cher Karbassian. She's coming out of Fort Worth, Texas, and she is on the Hobie fishing team with the Angler Pro Tackle and Outdoors shop. Welcome, Cher. Glad to have you today.
Woohoo! So thankful to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about you. How about you tell folks kind of how you got into kayak fishing, how long you've been doing it, how you got on the Hobie fishing team, if there's a story behind that, and maybe a little story about your name too. I'll let you take the floor from here.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I so appreciate being here. This is awesome. Let's see. Well, I started kayak fishing probably, it's been 2.5 years now. My husband actually wanted to kayak fish, and I wanted a boat. I wanted to get a big boat. I was like, let's save our money. Let's get a boat. Well, I did a hair show out of town. He calls me and says, I'm getting a kayak. I was like, no, don't do it. And next thing I know, he starts sending me pictures of him and my daughter on a tandem kayak and catching fish. And I was like, no way. So the next day I come home, he takes me out on the water, and I was so close to the water that I was like, this is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. I was like, forget the big boat. Get me a kayak.
Right.
And then I got my first kayak. I had a Vibe Yellowfin. That was my very first one. We just bought it, a used one. Loved it. Then I upgraded to a new canoe, which was awesome, but it was just huge. By me having to carry it by myself was, very hard. Then we upgraded to the Hobie, and the Hobie has been like, oh my gosh, no turning back.
Right.
It's like, man, this is the best. But like I said, getting into a kayak was so much different. And I've fished all my life. I grew up fishing. I did trout fishing when I was younger. And then when I moved here to Texas, my husband introduced me to bass fishing. And we would go to ponds. We would just, bank fish. We'd try to get in as much as we could. But like I said, the second I got on that kayak, that made like a world of difference. Mm-hmm. And then because I got the Hobie from my dealership, we became really close friends with them. And then that's how he kind of introduced me into the Hobie fishing team, talked to me about it, and said he wanted to submit me, and told me all, what we were going to do. And I submitted my resume, or whatever you want to call the little application. And then I got a call back and said, yeah, you made it. And I was like, oh my God, that is so exciting. And I got to share it with you guys.
I know, that's right. Yeah, we both got to share that awesome experience at the women's event last fall. That was probably the best day of your life, right?
Oh my, yeah, hello. Definitely one of them.
Right. Awesome. So you've been fishing ever since you were a kid or whatnot. So who taught you? Was it your mom, your dad, a family member, friends?
Mom and dad, definitely. Like I said, we used to live in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So we would go up to Ruidoso and go into the mountains, into the Indian reservations, and fish all day. We'd just sit in the chair. We'd have our little bobber, and we'd have our fish eggs, salmon eggs, and we'd just sit out there. And then we would actually, my father and mom showed me how to cut them and clean them in the streams, and we'd cook them. Yeah, oh my gosh, that is definitely a memory I will never forget. You know, when you go fishing, just going up the mountain, driving up the mountain, you could just smell with the windows down, you could smell the pine trees. Just incredible.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. I know those are, I'm jealous of, people who have memories like that. I mean, I've got some memories as a kid fishing a little bit with some family friends or whatnot, but I didn't actually learn really much from anybody. So yeah, that's really awesome memory to have right there. But yeah, so how long have you been married now?
Oh, since 97. So
Oh, gosh.
quite a while.
Right.
You know, after you get to 20, then you start going, wait, I know we got married in 97. That's it.
Right. We're on what year now?
Yep.
Awesome. And you guys both share kind of a little bit of the same passion for fishing?
Yes, I think I'm a little more addicted than he is, but yes.
Right. Yep. Now, does he have his own kayak too, or you guys? Yep.
He does. He's got an Outback as well.
Outback as well. Yep. Those are really some awesome kayaks. I started in a Outback as my not really like my first kayak. I had a little Pelican that I started out in because we all got to start somewhere. Then I upgraded to Hobie, and I was in an Outback for 6 years, and then this is my first year going out of a pro angler, so it's still an adjustment.
Are you in the 14?
I've got both a 14 and a 12.
Okay.
So yeah, my personal boat is a 14, and then the 360 I've got in the 12. So.
Oh, you've got the 360. Look at you.
Yep, that's my team boat with Quest Water Sports. So yeah, I got that back in, was that March-ish? Yeah, it was close to when things started kind of getting a little crazy, and I'm glad I got it when I did, because it was just it was right before things really started getting kind of crazy. So I was pretty fortunate with all that. But yeah, anyway, you also said that you have kids?
I have 2 daughters.
Daughters?
One that's about to be 26, one that's going to be 16.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm showing my age, so don't tell anybody.
Well, I have seen you post about one of them being in gymnastics. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. She is a serious gymnast. That's, with everything that's going on, she was actually hoping to try to do the Olympics this year, but she got injured a few years back. That kind of postponed things a little bit. But now that things are taking a turn to where next year will be the Olympics, she might actually get to have a shot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
wow.
We'll keep our fingers crossed and see how everything goes. She's got to work, and she's a fighter. She works hard.
Yeah, I know anything when it involves the Olympics or sports like that. It's just like, you live and breathe what you're doing. So.
She does that for sure.
Awesome. And what's your oldest do?
She's got her hair license just like her mama, and she bartends on the side. She also just got a recent job where she's working for a lady who is like a chef, and she delivers all of the food to her clients. Awesome. So yeah, she's just keeping busy. At that age, you got to keep busy.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so speaking of, keeping busy and everything that's been kind of going on, I know you're in the good old state of Texas while I'm here in the state of Illinois. I know there's some very big differences as to, what each state can do and can't do, but how have you been coping with the pandemic that's been going on?
Well, let's just say, thank God we could go fishing. I think I would have lost my mind if I couldn't fish. So I made it. That's definitely what I've done the most. They did close some of the state parks, but unfortunately, I don't really go to any of the state parks. I go to a lot of local lakes that we didn't have to worry about them being closed down. And other than that is sitting at home, trying to get some things done, painting, it's so different because when you go to work and then you get to go fishing, but when you don't have work, you're like, oh, I have to go fishing. It's different. It's a different thing. Like I always looked forward to go, and don't get me wrong, I love fishing, but I always look forward to it because I had a week of work, and without it, it was kind of like, oh, wow, well, I'm going fishing again. Like, almost like I felt bad that I was doing it.
Right. Yep. That's kind of that mental mindset, you get that kind of work attitude and you're just like, well, if I'm not working, I shouldn't, deserve to do fun things, right? It's kind of like
yep.
of everything. It's like, wait a second, get that out of my head. Of course I can go fishing.
Yeah, but I did catch my PB.
I saw
during this pandemic.
That was awesome. And how big was it like 8?
8 pounds, 6 ounces.
6 ounces. Holy bajoli.
It was so awesome. Oh my gosh, it was incredible.
Right. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen that, Cher's got Facebook and Instagram. You want to plug those in real quick, what those are, if people want to find you and look you up?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, basically Cher Karbassian. And let's see, Instagram, I think it's Cher_Karbassian. And then Facebook is just Cher Karbassian.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, you guys can go check her out on there. Anyway, tell us, how did you catch your PB? What were you doing?
Well, I love the fluke. The fluke is definitely one of my favorites year round. There's one point during the year that it's not so great, but most of the time I can use it all through the year. But we were out, and my husband and we were along some docks, and there was 2 boats coming into their docks, and I casted my fluke out and I just let it sink. I just kind of leave a slack line, let it sink. And as I went to tighten my line, I felt this pressure. So I set my hook, and my rod tip was bent over. And the guy that just pulled his boat in, he was talking to my husband, and he looked over and he goes, oh my gosh, she has a really good fish on. And then the fish came out of the water, and I went, oh my gosh, that's a giant. And then when I got it in the net, you're just so excited. And then when I brought it out, my husband, he was like, dude, that was like a 10-pound fish. I was like, I don't know how big it is, but man, it was so cool.
Oh my gosh. Wow. How long was she?
Well, when I had it and my husband was helping me, we were measuring. He said 24 1/4. So my eyesight's not very good because I need reading glasses. So I don't wear my reading glasses when I'm fishing. And so I was having him help me. But then, of course, when I kind of leaned her sideways and pushed on her, then, of course, she was like 23 3/4 is when I took the picture.
Holy moly. That is a big fish.
Yeah, she was awesome. I think she must have just released her eggs, because I'm like, man, if she had her eggs, that would have been a giant.
Right. Yeah. Imagine the girth she probably would have had. Oh man.
She was beautiful. She was, beautiful. And I wanted to submit her we have here, they do the Sharelunker there. Oh, no, I think it's Texas only.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we have a Sharelunker program.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to get a picture of it, on the weight, on the scale, length. You got to measure it on the length board, get that picture. But we had taken so long because I was so excited. It was so pretty. You're doing everything. But I kept putting her back in the water, and I'd do this, I'd do that. And then finally I was like, wait, we got to get one more picture. I said, I got to get a picture of her on the scale. And my husband's like, honey, he goes, you don't have to enter her the Sharelunker. That's your lunker. You got it. why do you got to do that? And I was like, you're right. I'm like, okay. I was like, but I could be entered into a $5,000 drawing.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that there was a like an award for it too.
Oh yeah, if you get, I think it's 8 pounds or bigger, you're entered into this $5,000 drawing.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I wish Illinois had stuff like that, but you know.
Hey, maybe you need to find out who to talk to.
Right. Well, I mean, we got some big fish. It's just, we just can't go to any of these places right now, because they're all closed. So,
True.
But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But let's see here. So what are your favorite places that you like to go to?
So here, for me, I drive quite a bit of distance. Everything that's my favorite is at least an hour away for me. I go to Wheeler Branch Reservoir, which is in Glen Rose, Texas, 85 feet deep. There's actually walleye in there.
Oh, nice.
Smallmouth bass, largemouth bass. Yeah. The crazy thing is I've never caught a smallmouth out of there or a walleye. I actually did have a friend that did catch a walleye out of there. Mm-hmm. But it's beautiful. It's so clear. The water is, crystal clear. You see these massive trees under the water that are incredible. And then I go east of where I am to Lake Athens, and that's another one of my favorites. It's most of these places are pretty small. I don't like a lot of boat traffic. Mm-hmm. Wheeler Branch, there's no boats allowed, so it's basically kayaks. Yeah, it's awesome. That's why I love that place especially. And then I like to go to the river a lot down, but right now they've been releasing water a lot. So it's really dangerous to be out on the river when they're releasing that water from the dam.
Gotcha. Yeah. Have you guys had a lot of rain?
We have, and it's crazy. It's like, I'm surprised that they're releasing as much because it's rained off and on. But when it's not raining, they're still releasing. So I'm assuming they're just releasing it from the lakes because the lakes are probably really full.
Right. Gotcha. That's not too bad. But hey, it looks like the trips that you make are definitely worth it for you, though.
Oh yeah.
What's been your best day of fishing? Like, how many fish have you caught in one day, would you say?
I went to the river one day, and I think it was like in the 80s.
Oh my gosh.
80s, but they were little teeny tiny fish. It was one of those days that I think they turned the water on. And we had to fish in this shallow area where we were close to our trucks. And it was like everything we were throwing, for some reason, my husband figured out some little thing. He just made this little piece of worm that he put on the hook, and they were eating it. I was like, nice. What the heck?
Right. Sometimes it's one of those little things, right?
But it was fun. We made the most of it. We couldn't catch big fish, so we were like, well, why not catch little fish?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes that's even more fun,
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, do you compete in any tournaments ever?
The last one I did was the Hobie tournament that was at Lake Fork. That was my very first national tournament. Mm-hmm. I went down there because Christine was there, and Kate. Yeah. Kate was the one that, she was going. So I wanted to go see her and hang out with her. I didn't plan on doing it. I was just going to go hang out with her. And then she talked me into it, and I was like, okay, I'm going for the experience and for, just to learn. It was a very big learning experience for me. But, the weather, it can change, and Lake Fork is such a big lake that any kind of wind can really, make it very difficult. And the areas that we fished the first day, had no luck. Then the second day we went to a really, really cool little area, and I ended up catching a fish. So I was so excited. I was going, I'm going to be on the board. I got a fish. I said, Cher, take your time. I measured. I did everything. I looked at the picture, made sure my tag was on my board, took the picture, submitted it, let the fish go. And 5 minutes later, I got a message that said, your fish has cannot be submitted. Like they couldn't take it. And I was like, oh, what did I do wrong? And I looked, well, what I did when I took the picture, I like I said, I have to wear reading glasses. So I pan in really close to the fish, and I didn't pan out far enough to have my tag in it.
Oh no.
And I was so disappointed, and I was so upset. And my husband was just like, honey, well, you know, you caught a fish. I mean, and I said, yeah, but nobody else knows I caught one.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to be a zero. And but like I said, I learned. I will never do that again.
Right. Yep. Definitely some first time, things. At least you got it out of the way now,
But you know what's funny is I had missed a fish prior to that one. And that fish was much bigger. And it was almost God's way of saying, it's a good thing you missed that one, because that would have been a bigger fish and I would have done the same thing.
Right. Ooh.
So it was good. It was a great experience. I loved meeting everybody that I have been friends with on Facebook or Instagram and I speak to, and coming face to face with them and learning some of the techniques that they do. And I mean, it was incredible. Just all the anglers, how awesome everybody is and how great they are to really, I mean, I felt like it was a family. It was a big family. We just laughed and had a great time. It was awesome.
Right. I know. Yeah. I gotta say, I've definitely been missing the whole tournament scene lately because, you miss that camaraderie and that family feeling, get to talk with everybody and see everybody, and just, talk fishing, talk about your day, etc., and now it's just like, well, we don't have tournaments, so what am I going to do now?
Well, it definitely prepared me after that tournament because I wasn't in competition mode. And because my husband was like, I can't believe you didn't catch any fish. And I was like, dude, it was hard fishing because the temperatures were like in the 30s in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because this cold front had come in. So it was cold. Right. It was not fun. So it was a very tough weekend of fishing. But I did tell him that it taught me something, that now when I fish, I always take my board so I can catch my limit. I go out and prepare myself as if I'm in a tournament. Okay, I have this much time. I have 5 fish to catch. So I make sure to catch my 5 fish limit. And I've actually been writing it down each time I go out. How many inches I catch, just so I can kind of see how I'm doing.
That's actually pretty awesome. That's actually a neat way of practicing. You kind of go out and say, all right, this is my time frame. I've got these 5 fish to catch, and if I catch more, that's great. Right. You can cull probably from that,
right.
And just, it gets you that experience and that practice, that way you can be like, all right, I got a fish. I got to put it on the board, got to take a picture, you get that whole kind of repetition in there, and then that makes you so much better of an angler too. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Awesome. Let's see here. Well, I know, let's see here. The next event was supposed to be Chickamauga, but that's been postponed until November, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to remember what else was coming up. I know that Hobie's supposed to be announcing about Kentucky Lake, I think on like Monday or a week from Monday or something like that. So, but if tournaments are going to be happening again, do you have any upcoming ones that you're maybe trying to plan on going to?
Now that I'm actually back to work, that makes it a little tough to plan anything. I was hoping that I was going to get to do Lake Erie.
Oh, yes.
But they canceled that because I was like, oh, well, if I'm off, my daughter's not doing gymnastics, and I could go. And then it got canceled. It was like, oh. But no, I'm really going to definitely try to do some local tournaments. I think most of the tournaments here are getting to the end. So, like I said, I have really just kind of been preparing myself to when I do my next tournament, I can feel like I'm actually not just some newbie coming into a tournament up against these amazing anglers that do it all the time. I feel like I'm like this little peon.
Right. I know. Yeah. I mean, I still feel that way a lot of times too, going to these bigger tournaments, and you got these big names out there and you're like, who am I in this?
Yeah. I mean, I can catch some fish. I have no doubt that I can catch fish. But, like I said, I'm used to going to the same places. So it's stepping out of that box and going to somewhere new and learning those waters. And, that is such a huge thing that I want to be a part of.
Right. Yep. Exactly. It's all about, stepping outside of your comfort zone,
right.
And, improving upon yourself, that takes it takes work, it takes dedication, it takes time, it takes patience, and, it takes a lot as an angler sometimes too, just to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and leave, your known waters and your known places. I mean, like for me, I love like my local lakes and stuff that, they're dirty water, kind of stained or whatever. And then as soon as I'm in clear water, I'm like, I feel like an alien.
That's so funny because I'm complete opposite. I love the clear water. I love it. Oh my gosh, clear water is my favorite.
Oh, I hate it.
That's what most people say. That's what's funny to me is I hear that a lot. And I'm like, oh no, I want to fish clear. I want to see the fish. I want to watch them. I love watching them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like anymore, I'm just like, give me stained water any day because I'm used to it. I love it. I know how to fish it because that's all I have around me. And if I wanted to go to clear water, I got to go up to Wisconsin or I got to go over to Michigan. There's not a whole lot of clear water areas, around me. So it's quite a haul. So, that's kind of what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Whatnot. So, but yeah. I remember the first time when I fished a clear water, like I'm trying to remember what it was. It was somewhere up in Wisconsin. It was it might have been Nagawicca or it might have been on the Madison chain. I can't remember which one, but I remember getting on the water and I'm just like, what is this? I'm like, I can see everything. I know the fish can see me. And like, I'm used to throwing darker baits. And I'm like, I didn't bring like lighter colors. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But, I've told myself, I'm like, all right, I know better now. I can get more well prepared and try to plan as much as I can and everything. But it still will sometimes overwhelm me. I'd went up to Lake Geneva in Wisconsin a couple of weeks ago, and I had never been on there either. Crystal clear water, and like the winds started kind of booking up too. They got about like 50 miles an hour, which, in a Hobie isn't too bad, but still, having to fight the wind and
right.
waves. And then the boat traffic really started picking up too. So, it's always humbling, when you have experiences like that and you're just in clear water and like, I can see them fishing around that dock and throwing stuff at them and they're not eating it.
Well, that was the fun part about like the reservoir that I go to, how clear it is. Mm-hmm. And with all the bed fishing, this was really my first year to really bed fish. And it was so much fun. Like I would literally sit there and I'd be like, okay, they don't like this color. They don't like this color. They don't like this. They don't want the craw. You know what they really like? I get them to hit every time on a fluke. That fluke, you put it and you let it sit on their bed, they will come up to it and hit it. And if they don't like that color, then try different colors because that fluke, they do not like a fluke on their bed.
Right. Huh. Wow. That's interesting.
Oh, but it's so much fun. Oh my God. Right. Just to watch them go up to it.
Oh, like, I know. Right. And see, that's that's things that, I do miss out sometimes though, is like being able to see the fish like hit your bait sometimes too. Like every once in a while, I'll see the wake of a fish coming up or, like if I'm skipping something underneath the dock or like in the bushes, I can see it coming from the side. I'm like, oh yeah.
That's awesome.
But like to be able to like throw it in the water and like watch a fish swim up to it, you don't usually get those opportunities until I get to go to clear water. But still all the same. But All right, let's see here. So, last year was the first women's event, the Worldwide Fishing Federation. Now we've changed our name, a little bit less of a mouthful, the Women's Fishing Federation. And so tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
Oh my gosh, it was the most incredible thing ever. I mean, I met some incredible women. I made some new friends that I love absolutely. And I mean, it was just going and learning so many different things. I mean, like the day that we had where we got to learn the waters and how to read the water, and that day I remember we went out. I think it might have been our last day where we had to whoever caught the biggest fish
Yes.
that day. And I went out after taking that class, and off the point, I actually caught 2 big old bass and ended up winning the biggest bass.
That's
And
right, you did.
that was just from going into a class and learning, and it was incredible. I mean, I didn't do all of the classes that they had, but I did as much as I could. And it was, and the gatherings in the evening when we got to sit around the fire and drink some moonshine.
Oh yeah.
We had so much fun. I can't wait for this year. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, I'm super excited for this year too. We're going to be on Table Rock this year, which is it's a little bit further away from where it was this year, but it's still kind of near the Branson area and whatnot. But yeah, we've definitely got some awesome setups. And Table Rock, I've never fished on it, or I've been on it, but as a kid, we did family trips down to Branson a few times and would go boating out there. But like I've never actually been on it since then.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be an experience to be on there. But yeah, super excited, super looking forward to, seeing everybody again and just, having the whole experience and everything too.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully we won't get as much rain as we did the first night and the boats end up disappearing.
Yeah. That was, I remember driving down there. I left Illinois and I probably drove a half hour and then it never stopped raining.
Yeah.
It just never stopped raining. It was crazy.
I wasn't even sure if we were even going to get to fish. I was like, oh man, I drove all the way over here from Texas. I said, I better be able to fish. And it was cold. I remember that first morning, how cold it was.
Yes.
And
yes.
you know what was the coolest thing is knowing that there were chicks out there that loved fishing as much as I did that would get up in 30-degree weather and go, I'm out of here. I'm getting on the water.
Right. Yes.
So
and
cool.
You're just like, there are others out there like me. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I'm so excited too. I can't wait. And just, just being able to be a part of it too. And being able to help with it too, just makes me feel so much more accomplished and just it gives me more of a purpose too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not going to be like a top angler like Christine Fisher or anything like that. I mean, I wish I could, but I think I still got quite a few years before I can get to that level. But, at least, with the experiences that I've had, in the past that I've traveled, at least I can take what I know and what I've learned and try to pass it on to others too, especially, women in this industry too.
And we are thankful for that. Thank you for all you do because you do a lot. We appreciate it. You do a great job.
Thanks. Well, if there are any other ladies out there listening or watching, what would you have to say to, any other ladies who are thinking about getting into kayak fishing?
I say do it. I mean, you won't regret it. It's an incredible experience. If the being outside and being outdoors, so close to the nature, and it's just it takes you to a different place. Even if you don't want to fish and you don't catch fish, just being outside and being in that experience, I mean, is one of the best parts. Just listening to the birds. I mean, the sounds that you hear, I don't listen to music when I fish. I love to hear the sounds. I hear the birds. I hear the crickets. I hear the frogs. sometimes children laughing, parents talking to their kids. I mean, it's those things to me that are so important in this life that I love. And the fishing, catching fish is just a bonus. That's a bonus. But
Yep.
it's learning. Go out and learn, to find other women that, that want to go out and do the same thing with you. And you guys can learn from each other.
Awesome. Yep. Very much. I can agree too. Whenever I'm out fishing and everything, I don't have music playing or nothing, just because it's like, it's another distraction to add. And of course, you can't really hear if there's like other boats coming up on you, or if there's
Right.
another kayak coming up on you and they start talking to you and you realize halfway through they're talking, they're like, oh, there's somebody talking to me and I got my headphones on, but no, yeah, I like to be, fully immersed into, nature as much as I can, and just, escape all the noise of the world and everything, and just, go out, relax as much as you can. And again, added bonus if you catch fish too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm one of those. I talk to the fish, I talk to the animals, I talk to the bugs.
Now, do you guys get those really bad black gnats like we do? They're only for a certain time of year. They just started coming out, but they're really tiny, and they'll swarm your face. And they'll bite, but you don't really feel it until you get home, and then your face swells up.
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm sure we have those. I mean, I don't think I've been bit by them. I mean, our mosquitoes are so bad.
Oh, yeah, I bet they are.
They're terrible.
Ugh,
yeah, it's a good time. I mean, women, get out there, go fish, learn.
Right.
It's a great thing.
Yep. Awesome. Now there was one other thing, kind of a oddball thing that I wanted to ask you too. Now down in Texas, I know you guys got gators down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any or encountered any in your fishing?
No. Nope, I have not, which is funny because some of these lakes that are really close to me have them, and you see the signs, watch for gators, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I really I don't know. It would be nerve-wracking if I saw one, but most of the people that I talk to, they're like, they're not going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
The only time you really need to pay close attention is when it's mating season.
Oh, yes.
That's I mean, what I've heard from other anglers.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be I mean, I'd get the bejeebies scared out of me if I did see one.
Right. Yeah. That, and don't mess with their babies either, is what I've heard too.
But I see snakes all the time. I mean, I was just fishing the other day, and this snake, I must have scared this snake, and this snake went under, and it was in the clear lake, which was good. He went under the water. He came up. He put his head up out of the water at me, and I put my Hobie in reverse. I'm like, dude, let me get out of your way. And I backed up, and he swam around like he was going to come and get on my kayak. I was like, dude, go. Get away from me.
Oh, man. Yeah. Have you had any other interesting animal encounters before?
No, I mean, there was a pond that we used to fish that had some, not otter, like little beavers, the beavers that would swim in there. But I mean, we never had any encounters with them.
Yeah.
But nothing scary, just snakes, and like I said, I try to stay out of their way. If I see them coming, I'm like, okay, let me move out.
Yep.
I'm in your way, sir. Let me move.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's see here. What else? I totally had something else and now I totally lost it.
That happens to me all the time. Don't worry.
Right. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm totally blanking right now. Anyway, let's see here. Anything else that you want to share, or any other experiences you've had? Like, I guess, being like a lady, in the kayak fishing world, and you haven't really, tournament fished a whole lot. You had your first experience, which sounded like it was really awesome, which is really great, but have you encountered any, other guys or anything out there who just, didn't really treat you right or anything like that? Or has everything been pretty kind of smooth sailing for you?
Like I said, this fishing industry, the people that are in it are a really great group of people. Everybody's pretty close at, wanting to help. I'm lucky and fortunate that I haven't had any issues with anybody. Everybody, has been pretty nice. Of course it's hard sometimes when I go out by myself. You have to pay very close attention.
Yep.
I was kidnapped when I was younger.
Oh my God.
And held at gunpoint.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
Whoa. Hold the phone. What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was probably 17, 18 years old. And yep, I was at a party and my boyfriend was driving around looking. It was an apartment complex. And I was walking around. Of course, I was drunk, underage. I wasn't supposed to be doing that, but I was. And this guy pulls up and he says, "You don't be walking out here by yourself." He was at the party. And I was like, "Oh, I'm okay." He drove off. As soon as he pulled off, this guy out of a bush jumps out. He has a ski mask on, grabs me, takes me across the street behind all the trees. And, it happens so fast that you're just like, is this real? And at this time, this is when Punk'd was on. And, you're kind of
oh my God.
Am I being punked
You're
right
just
now?
like, wait, what's happening? Are my friends messing with me? Like, what?
Yeah, but
happening?
it was probably a good thing that I was drunk because I talked a lot. I was just going on and on about my life and this and that. And, he kept getting up, trying to look, because you could hear my friends calling for me. And my boyfriend was driving. And finally, after so long, I don't know how long it was, but I finally told him, I was like, "Look, let's make a plan. Let's just pretend that I came back here and used the restroom." I said, "I'll put my head down on my lap. I'll count to 3. You can take off running. I don't know where you're going to go." And he was like, "Oh, well, you were drunk when I found you. Let's just say that you passed out back here." And I'm thinking, okay, whatever. So before we did that, he says, "Can I have a hug?" I gave him a hug. I put my head down on my lap. I counted to 3. I heard him take off running. Well, after I counted to 3, I got up and started walking. Well, he stopped. And all I could think of, he's going to shoot me. And he didn't. And I just kept walking. Well, my friends, they'd already called the police. So the helicopter came. They actually caught him. Yeah, they caught him. He was a 26-year-old married man. And he had just got done watching something, not so good for women on TV and decided to stalk his first woman. And that happened to be me.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's wow. That's insane.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, wow. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's had a crazy experience like that before. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad that, everything turned out okay and that, you didn't get hurt or anything, but holy crap. Wow.
Yeah. But it makes you, it definitely, I'm very, I pay very close attention to everything now.
I bet.
My husband and I, we've got code words. We've got ways to communicate with each other.
Awesome.
Always as soon as I'm on the water, off the water, we're always in contact with each other.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. That safety is one of those things that I try to be a really big advocate for. I've had 2 pretty crazy experiences with the tournament fishing, the death of an angler being one of them, and then another angler being ran over by a boat pretty much. So yeah, that happened last year.
My gosh.
Yeah, a boat was coming at him and his wife or girlfriend was sitting in the front of it. It was just like a John boat. And he was in the back and he wasn't really paying attention, but his wife was sitting in the front. So like he couldn't really see past her or anything. And the guy in the kayak, kind of was like, he was paying attention, luckily, and saw the boat coming at him, was just like, hey, and had to bail out like last minute. And then it wasn't until the boat went over the kayak that he realized that there was a kayaker there. So, it was very fortunate that it turned out the way that it did, because it could have been a lot worse. And kind of going back to, having headphones on when you're out fishing, I'm just like, if he wouldn't have been paying attention, if he would have had headphones on, he wouldn't have even known the better or anything like that. So,
Right.
always being aware of your surroundings is like vital. And I mean, especially launches. There's some launches around this area that are kind of in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
and having that plan, set up with your husband or whatever, be like, hey, this is where I go. Like with mine, I've taken him to my launches. I'm like, this is where I launch, and I use an app called Life 360. And
Yes,
it's, yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. And it just, it follows me wherever I go as long as I have a good signal, So like, if there's ever a point to where if I don't respond to a text or call or something like that, it's like, all right, after a certain time frame, just come to my spot, see if my truck is gone, see if it's still there. Then if it's still there, then, have that plan of action from there. But yeah, knowing your surroundings and also, looking out for yourself too. If you ever get to a boat ramp and somebody else is there and you're not comfortable, hey, leave,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't ever do anything that's going to make yourself uncomfortable. If somebody's giving you the heebie jeebies, get out of there as soon as you can. And if, all else fails, fight for your life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, wow. I still can't. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy thing. I'm very, very fortunate to still be here to be able to talk about it,
Yes.
with nothing terrible that happened,
Exactly. Yeah. I
And
mean, yeah, there could have been a million different things that could have happened. And luckily there wasn't anything else that happened. So
yep.
glad that, in a weird sense, glad that it turned out the way that it did and, nothing else. So, whew, wow. Craziness. Let's see here. Well, we'll try to end on a positive note here. What do you, anything you have besides the women's event coming up in this fall? You have anything else that you're looking forward to coming up?
Well, since everything is kind of a little put on hold, not knowing what's going to happen, we don't really have a lot of plans. I mean, it's just going to be a day by day thing and
Yeah.
seeing what happens. The women's thing is going to be the number one thing that I'm going to be at for sure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody else is in the same boat too, with after everything that's happened this year, everybody's just like, let's just get this year over with and let's get to October and just do it.
That's right.
September.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, if I can get in a local tournament here or there, I'll try to do that. I don't know what's going to be. I mean, everything that Hobie's going to put on is probably going to be pretty far. And like I said, since I'm finally just now getting back to work, I don't know if that'll be in the stars for me, but we'll see. You never know.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
You never know.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, do you have any sponsors you'd like to give a shout out or thanks to?
Well, definitely Hobie Fishing for
Yeah.
sure. The best ever.
That's right.
And Anglers Pro Tackle and Sports Outdoors, they are the reason why I'm a part of Hobie, is because I got my first Hobie kayak from them. And any of my fishing needs, love them. Lockett Lures Outlet, that's my fluke that I use, is great. And I love the Zoom fluke, but this one it holds up just a little bit better than that Zoom, because that Zoom will turn inside out. This one just holds up. Love it. And then I wear Viking eyewear glasses, but my main ones, Hobie, Anglers, and Lockett Lures. Those are it. Those are my main squeezes.
Awesome sauce. And I know you've got a kayak cushion, don't you?
I do. Kayak cushion for sure.
Yes, those are pretty awesome. Yes, yeah. I've got I won that green one during the St. Patty's Day, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Yes, kayak cushion. If anybody needs anything, I'm telling you, I had a sciatic nerve problem, and the second I got one of those, it totally helped my sciatic nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Totally helped it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could tell a difference when you're used to sitting on it and then you don't have it. Oh my gosh. It's
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
Yeah. It's a huge difference, night and day difference. Yeah. I noticed like when I first put it on there and I sat on it, I was like, where's this been my entire life?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
We're gonna have to start talking to Hobie and go, Hobie, we need you to make seats out of kayak cushions.
Right. Let's incorporate your cushions into your seats and call it a day. Like, yeah.
That's it.
Right. All right. Well, Cher, thanks again for coming on today. And again, if you guys want to follow her, you can find her on Instagram, which is Cher_Karbassian.
Correct.
Yep. And then her Facebook page, Cher Karbassian. And yeah, you can follow her adventures on there. Otherwise, that's all we've got for today. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye. Thank you.
Go check out the website, guys. Paddle, the letter N, and fin.com. Also check out YouTube, youtube.com/paddle and fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest, feel free to email us at paddle, the letter N, and fin @gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're doing giveaways, announcements, things like that at Facebook and Instagram at paddle and fin. Shout out to our show supporters, Rocktown Adventures, Leveling Canoe and Kayak, Hammered Lures, Fish Mob Lures, TRC Covers, Ketch Products. Go to ketchproducts.com. You can put the paddle and fin logo right on your catch board. Don't forget to go over and pick up your JigMasters Jigs. Use promo code PNF20 and save 20% today. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to. It helps grow the audience, helps others find our podcast. So please drop a 5-star rating in on the podcast platform you're listening on. Don't forget about the recycled plastics program, you guys. Take your used plastic baits, put them in an envelope, mail them to the address in the show notes. Our man Eric Richards at Hammered Lures melts those down, makes new baits, and donates them to various chapters of Heroes on the Water.